Welcome to Developing with DocuSign. This episode covers the DocuSign API Explorer. This developer tool lets you explore and execute eSignature REST API methods in an interactive environment. I'm Matt Lusher of the DocuSign Developer Content team. We create content and tools to help you develop DocuSign integrations. In this video, I'm going to show you how to find and use API Explorer to learn how eSignature REST API calls work. API Explorer is accessible from any API method page in the DocuSign Developer Center's eSignature REST API reference. Here, I'm on the API reference page documenting one of the most important API methods, envelopes create. You use this method to create and send envelopes for signature. I'll select the Preview an API Explorer button in the upper right to open API Explorer to the envelopes create method. Notice the message at the top. To use API Explorer, you need to be authenticated using your DocuSign developer account. That's because this isn't a simulation. You're about to execute a real API call against a real DocuSign server. DocuSign developer accounts operate in the DocuSign demo environment. Select the blue button, as I'm doing here, to log into your developer account, or the link in the message below it to create a new one. Developer accounts are free and enable you to use virtually all DocuSign features. If you've already obtained an access token, you can just paste it in here. Otherwise, select the Get OAuth 2 token button to obtain one. I'm going to choose the button. I'm now prompted to log into my DocuSign developer account. I enter my name and password, then accept API Explorer's request to create and send envelopes and obtain links for starting signing sessions. This executes an OAuth authentication code grant flow, resulting in an OAuth 2 access token that API Explorer caches for the rest of the session, or until the token expires. DocuSign access tokens expire after 8 hours. I'm returned to API Explorer, now showing that I'm authenticated against the demo environment. Now I'm ready to try out this API call using the controls on this page. The envelopes create call has many parameters. By default, API Explorer only shows you the most frequently used. If you'd like to explore them all, select the basic option, which changes it to full. Select it again to switch back to basic. I'm sticking with basic here. To start, I need to provide my account ID. This is the API account ID listed in your developer account settings on the Apps and Keys page. I open my developer account to that page, select the Copy to Clipboard icon to the right of the API account ID field, and then return to the API Explorer and paste it in. API Explorer mentions that you can also get this value from the OAuth GetUserInfo API call. API Explorer tells you that parameters in bold are the only ones required. Notice that an envelope definition is not. You can execute the API call with nothing but your account ID. I'd like to explore envelopes create a little further, however, so I'm going to expand the envelope definition parameter. Envelope definition is an object that contains all the information needed to specify the DocuSign envelope you want to create. The documents to attach, the email subject line, if you're using email, the envelope recipients, tabs, templates, and more. The arrows next to each section of the envelope definition expand that section so you can see its contents. For this demo, I'm going to add a single document to send for eSignature. To do so, I select the arrow next to the document section. I then select the plus icon to add a document. I'm going to add a document we use for demo purposes in our quick starts. I select the arrow next to document 1, exposing its properties. In the Document Base64 field, I select the Choose File button and find the document I want on my own computer. The document I choose will be automatically converted into Base64 format. Now I can set the document's properties. The fields under Document Base64 are all values you can specify as you wish, but they're not required. Notice the icons to the right of each field. Hover over them to get help. The values I'm using here are just for this demo. I'm going to copy the Document ID field, though, because I'll need it later. Now that I'm done, I'll collapse the document section. If I just want to create an envelope I can send later, I'm done and ready to execute the API call. But for this demo, I want to go ahead and send the envelope, so I need to include a subject line and tell API Explorer where to send it. I'll type a subject line into the email subject field and then expand the envelope recipients section to add a recipient. Notice that you can add people who just receive a copy as well as people who need to sign. I'm just adding a signer here, so I'll select the arrow next to signers, then the plus icon to add a signer. I'll fill in a name and email address for the signer, then the other properties as appropriate. You can hover over the info icons to learn more about them. One parameter in particular is important, the client user ID. If you fill in a value for this one, DocuSign assumes that this call is for an embedded signing session in your app. If you want to send the document for signing by email, as I do here, leave this parameter blank. Now I need to set up a place for the signer to sign the document. DocuSign calls such places tabs, and to add one, I'm going to open the Envelope Recipient Tabs section for my signer. To include a place for the signer to sign the document, you need to use a Sign Here tab. I'll expand that subsection and add a tab. To link this tab to the document I attached, I need to specify the same document ID I used when I added the document. I'll paste in the value I copied earlier, and I'm all set. DocuSign supports two types of tab position, fixed tabs or anchor tabs. Fixed tabs are added by providing the page of the document and the exact coordinates of the location on that page. With anchor tabs, you add a particular string into the document where you want the tab to appear, and DocuSign automatically inserts the tab at that location. API Explorer shows the properties used for fixed positioning, so I'll use that method. The values I'm entering here for X position and Y position tell DocuSign where to place the tab in terms of how far over from the left edge and down the page from the top. DocuSign uses points to calculate the position. There are 72 points to an inch, so these numbers tell DocuSign to put the tab 1 inch over from the left and 10 inches down, which will be 1 inch from the bottom. That's all I'm choosing to specify for this demo, but if you expand the various sections, you'll see many more properties of the envelope definition object you can use for your apps. These are all documented on the DocuSign Developer Center. I'm going to collapse the envelope recipients section, and I'm ready to execute the API call, except for one last thing, the envelope status. Hover over the info icon to discover the possible values for this one. You can set it to created, which will simply create and save the envelope, or sent, which will create and send the envelope. I'm setting it to sent because I want to see how that works. Once that's done, I'm ready to select Send Request. API Explorer makes an API request to the DocuSign eSignature service, and the results are shown below. API Explorer shows you everything. As I scroll through the display, you can see the headers, the request body, and the request response. API Explorer gives you everything you need to be able to program against the request and response as you need to for your app. Since this actually executed an API call, I can check my email to see what the request looks like. Here's the body of the email I received. When I select Review Document, DocuSign opens a browser window with the DocuSign signing experience, showing the document sent by my API call. Now I can sign and complete the process. Now you've seen how easy it is to use the DocuSign API Explorer to work with eSignature REST API calls to see how to use them and what kind of response you get. I hope this helps you to build and troubleshoot your DocuSign integrations. Want to know more about DocuSign APIs? The DocuSign Developer Center contains guides, how-tos, SDKs, sample apps, and lots of resources to help you learn how to develop integrations with DocuSign. And thanks for watching. If you're watching from our YouTube channel, please post questions and comments below the video or email us at developers@docusign.com.